But in this story, the words, what happened when academia challenged me on this, is I just decided to make it literally a parable and a parable only, and I rewrote the entire story, making it all the more glorious of a proof of mathematically perfected economy, an example of it. But all the words that are issued out of Benjamin Franklin's mouth are the words of Mike Montagne. So when you run into this Google search, 25,400,000 sites, most of which are claiming Benjamin Franklin prescribed mathematically perfected economy, all they're doing is citing Mike Montagne's words, and they're referring to the embedded fault part of the story, which has this flaw of inflation in it. You see? So this is the original source from which this huge misunderstanding has proliferated, and this unqualified idea that money can't be a debt derives from.
Okay, Mike, we're gonna have to call it quits here.
Okay.
I think that's a place to end. Really, it's the simplification of the message is the only way that anyone's going to understand it, which is what you're saying is the root cause of the problem, because everyone's ruined your work based upon that. But I guess if there's a positive that can come out of all that, it's the even if it's the wrong solution, as long as there is debate and mainstream debate, that's got to be a step forward, really, to get in towards
if and only if I'm not excluded from the debate.
Yeah, which there's whether whatever my work will involve making sure that the people that need to be spoken to get spoken to. And from everything that you've told me, you're the person that people need to be speaking to as well. And I'll make sure that that is reflected.
Great. I really appreciate that. Yeah, and you're to be commended for that, because most people take this and run. It's all said in their own book. Everybody from Richard Cook, Stephen Zarlinga, Ellen Hodgson Brown, the list is just phenomenal. It's truly phenomenal. But the only other thing that I'd say is, you really can't, we've done this off the top of our head, but if you return to the parable of perfect economy, in truth, particularly with the further explanation that I will restore to it someday, it is the simplest example, and so I'd say go to perfecteconomy.com and look it up and read it, and you'll get it. You'll see, whoa, especially since that originally wrote that in '75, and modified it over the next few years as academia challenged me on it. Originally, I called it a parable. Why I did that, I was like somebody planted the idea in my head or something, I wasn't certain that it was a historic event. I never found, from the beginning I researched it, I never found justification for, the claims and the story as it was originally told in a lecture that I attended in Alaska. And the guy didn't even have an idea of the principles that it would teach, So anyway, I don't think it really, in truth, we can expect that we can simplify it. Everyone who tries eliminates something which is critical, for which we don't really understand it. So I think we really need to let go of that idea and recognize that what we really need to do is understand our problems in the necessary, indispensable terms by which we can unite over a fact of singular solution.
Okay, Mike. Well, I think that it's been very enjoyable.
You as well.
Thank you for sharing, and I look forward to working with you more in the future.
Great, and I openly welcome you to that. In fact, Mark and Jack, presented the idea that this guy could be really part of what we're doing, somehow. So one reason for connecting with you was, to offer you an open door to, let's take this thing further, and given your background, that maybe a concept will strike you that, we can all ourselves, enlarge in our, our core people and go a lot further with this. And I welcome you to do that. And if you come up with a brilliant idea, I warmly wait to hear it.
Okay, and equally, I'm grateful to have a mathematician who truly has done lots and lots and lots of research for a very, very, very long time.
Right.
I'm very grateful to have someone like that to refer to as we actually start making more progress, really.
Great. Well, like I say, if there's any further questions, your questions have been great, fabulous, the questions that need to be asked. Any further thing that strikes you, don't hesitate to ask. And, there's further things to share with you, which, I don't really intend to openly divulge now as strategies by which we intend to achieve these objects of establishing mathematically perfected economy across the world. That is an organization or authors of solution. We're not intending to establish it ourselves, but we've engineered what we believe is the only way it will ever be established for people of each country of the world to elect to do so. And I mean, obvious candidates for this are Iceland, Ireland, virtually all of Europe, Russia, United States. There isn't a place in the world. But places that will need it immediately to avert further disaster will be places like Egypt, where the people have bravely stood up against oppression already, but they need answers in order to protect themselves from perhaps not as bad an oppression as they suffered before, but to protect themselves from wrongs which can escalate into even worse wrongs. So that's our principal objective.
All right. Well, thanks, Mike.
Well, thank you as well, Simon. And anytime you want to write or Skype, feel free, okay?
Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay, I'll send you a copy of this soon, by the way.
Great.
Okay?
Thank you.
Just as it is. Okay, thanks, bud. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Once again, profuse thanks to Simon for the integrity reflected by his willingness to engage in this discussion. Thanks so much, likewise, for listening. It's an honor to be heard regarding probably the most vital matter of our time.